everything that you've done in your life to garner attention and love and acceptance from people, you've covered over your innate goodness because you thought it was unworthy. I can't let people see this unworthiness, so I need to create this spacesuit around me. And mindfulness and self-compassion is asking us to get rid of all those layers that we've put on over the years to recognize our inherent basic goodness. The premise is that you're basically good. You are born good. You're not a sinner, you're not sinful. There isn't anything to be in repentance about.
So what do you do? So I don't want to get off too much, but I mean, I have a boss that no matter what I do, she's constantly giving me what she thinks is positive feedback in every meeting, but it's something that, you know, you've got to change. You know, when you need to have better judgment on how you say things to people. You need to have better judgment on when you do this and that. And so I'm trying to practice this in my personal life, but then I'm at work constantly bombarded with, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, even though I have other people it's just, and so it's really, and I know, I tell myself, well, it's just her opinion, and, I still have a job, and, but I can't divorce her, I can't, leave her, I can't, when she's my boss. I've tried.
Well, and she's a great teacher right now. She's showing you where you still need some growth and some work.
Because I guess if it bothers me, then there's a part of me that still believes it.
Yeah, but I also at the same time think it's really important to recognize that it tells you a lot more about her than it does you. Because how we are towards other people is usually because of our stuff. It's not about you. She's probably doing the same thing to herself internally and projecting it onto you. That's just how she operates. That's just her personality. She probably is that way with everyone. So as much as you can recognize that it gives you a lot of insight into her internal dialogue, and not taking off her internal dialogue because you've got your own to deal with. So, but I also think that we're going to have these people in our lives that, and if you look at them as your greatest teacher, instead of, what does this person have to teach me? Where do I still need to grow? You can turn that, adversary into someone who is really helping you transform.
And it could be, I just don't have, really stop caring what people think about me. It's like all through my life, been I'm the one that when everybody liked me or this and that. And now I'm confronted every day.
Yeah.
And she'll flip on me because one minute it's not consistent.
Yeah, the interesting thing when you, let's say you are in psychology and all these people are coming to you every day talking about them, people aren't paying attention to you. Everyone, literally, they're so consumed by their own internal dialogue and life and anxieties, they're not really they don't care about you, honestly. I don't mean in a mean way, but people don't care about you. They care about themselves. Everyone is incredibly self-centered, narcissistic. That's just part of our culture. They're not paying attention to you that much. So
I don't need to take one.
So I can stop stressing over the fact that I haven't colored my hair in 2 months. And I didn't even notice.
Because everybody's looking at their own hair. And if they do notice, if you do notice...
it's about my hair. If you notice somebody else's, it's about mine.
I was talking with somebody the other day, and she was like, when I go to the gym, all I can see is other women's butts. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you think? She's like, I'm unhappy with my ass. So all I look at is, but it's true. She's like, I'm judging, hers is too flat, hers is too big, and it's just because I'm judging my own. So really, when people look at you, they're just seeing you as a reflection of themselves. It's not about you. So don't take it on.
What do you notice?
So if you find yourself looking at a woman's eyes or boobs or ass or hips, you know that that's a part of your body that you're insecure about. So anyway.
So if you catch me checking you out, I'm
totally about me.
It's about me.
And we usually want what we don't have. Girls with curly hair want straight. It's just whatever we are, we want something. drastically different. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, like you said, it's in our DNA.
Mhm.
So what was other people's experience of that exercise?
I thought it was easier
Uh-huh.
saying the phrase or word, whatever, just because it, as my mind wandered, that brought me back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's important to recognize. Like when we do the body scan and we're using the part of our body as an anchor to come back to. When we're doing breathing, we're using breath, wherever we feel it in our body, as an anchor to come back to. When we do a sound meditation, you're using sound as an anchor to come back to. When you're doing loving kindness, you're using probably your heart or the phrases to come back to. So those are all ways to recognize, oh, when I've left, I have this to come back to. And whatever your anchor is, that's fine. Like it could be something you're looking at if you're doing an open eye meditation. Every single time you find your mind wandering from the tree, bring it back to the tree and looking at the tree. Or if you're doing a body scan and you notice, oh, I'm supposed to be on my belly, come back to my belly. Or I'm doing a sound meditation, come back to the music. I was lost in thought. So part of this 6-week course is figuring out, what's my anchor? What's the best thing for me to come back to? Sounds like for you it's body scan in your body. For other people it's going to be the breath. For other people it's going to be sound. But finding that anchor is really important because you can come back to it any time of day, whenever you're feeling overwhelmed or frazzled. For me, I really like 2 feet, 1 breath. What's your anchor?
I was telling them I do a lot of loving kindness walking.
So what is that?
Breathing also.
Do you make up your own phrase, or is it
Yeah.
just whatever?
Well, it depends on where
Does
I'm
it
walking.
change?
Yeah.
So it's not always the same thing.
A lot of times it is the same thing, but sometimes it's like I was telling them that this week I've been really irritated, and so I'm having trouble accepting that about myself. Like I can't really control it, but I'm observing it. And so it's a lot about may I have experience peace and acceptance and self-love and stuff like that. And then also I'm wishing it for other people because I'm feeling irritated with them. So there's a lot of that as well, you know. If I can do it for myself, I can do it for other people.
Yeah, by doing it for yourself, you're doing it for other people. Yeah.
I was there, though. I mean, I was walking kind of front and back. And at the first few, I'm like, I don't know what to say. So I just was like, focus, you know. And then it was, okay, think about me. And then so it took me a few trips back and forth, figuring out what it was at that moment that I needed. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Be peaceful. What was it? Be peaceful, be patient, be kind. Let it go. That's all I got. And then it would, you know, so it just, but it's changing it, I think, helps too, because I wasn't sure if I was supposed to say the same things. But I was like, I don't, you know. Some of the words I was like, well, that's not exactly what I'm looking for. So then I figured I'd just
I
make
think
it up.
that's helpful, because I think I got to where, you know, it's again, like trying to do it right. And I was like, okay, calm, health. And then it just got to be so much of that, like I wasn't even thinking about the words, and that's why my mind started wondering if I was paying attention to where it was going and changed it up. I probably could have stayed present. I think that's good to think about.
Yeah, and remember with the loving kindness, it's important to, you don't have to say the may I, but just know that it's may I, because it really is about your intention, your wish for yourself, not forcing yourself, but you wish this eventually, and it doesn't have to be right now. And can I have compassion for myself while I'm in the space between where I am and what I would like to have? So, yeah. And just so you know, since you came in late, it's all we did was we combined walking with the loving kindness phrase, and just figuring out what you need in the moment, like what phrases would work for you. And you could do it later if you want. Did you?
I did.
So a few things. We talked about a willingness to be with things as they are earlier, and not as we wish they were. And I think that's really important. There's a really great question that Tara Brock poses to herself when she notices herself rushing or trying to be busy, going fast. And it's, what is it right now that I'm unwilling to feel? So I think that can, I haven't written that down, but I think that can be a really good question to pose to yourself. I'm unwilling to feel shame, or I'm unwilling to feel fear, or I'm unwilling to feel the stress that I feel, so I'm just going to rush through it. But just noticing, wow, why am I rushing right now? What is it that I'm unwilling to meet, that I'm trying to push past? Because we know that that which we're unwilling to meet will drive our lives behind the scenes, so it's really important to meet that stuff. And that other phrase, I think I told you last time about that mom that wasn't going to have much time with her 3-year-old daughter, saying, I have no time to rush. And I think reminding yourself of that when you are rushing with your daughters, like there's no time to rush. You don't need to rush. Slow down. But slowing down for us in this culture is really, really hard.
It's funny, so as I've talked about this to different people in different groups and settings, they all say, I just didn't get that.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you, I mean, you have to get to school, by 8. It's so funny that it always circles back to just, I feel like everybody always circles back to getting to school. Like, it's the morning crazy rush and just getting to school, like, slowing that down. And I can sit there and kind of talk to them and tell them what you say, but then when this morning comes, I've got all the answers. But,
well, the really cool thing about it, so I really got into this during my postdoc, and I had 20 people a day coming in, and then I had to rush. This was crisis evaluation, so I had 15 minutes with each person, and then most of them were suicidal, so I had to get them a bed somewhere. And it was like, I had to rush, right? I had to be quick. And it was really stressful, but I was also enrolled in a mindfulness course, so I posed it to my instructor. I'm like, here's my situation. Like I can't really. And he's like, well, you can be incredibly mindful quickly. Like, be mindful that you're speaking quickly, that you're really engaged, that this is, he's like, just whatever you're doing, even if you're doing it fast, be mindful of how quick you're going and be completely present and engaged. So mindfulness doesn't have to be slow, but you can be present to what you're doing as you're doing it quickly. Like, you can walk quickly mindfully. You can cook dinner or breakfast or get them dressed, but you can be totally present as you're doing it quickly.
instead of being frustrated or
Yeah, I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Because the morning thing, of course, I've experienced it for years and years, and I work here, so I got to get here. I'm going to work and school, And, but I do notice that we can be rushing and really be okay with that. Like, okay, we're late, so we're going to rush, but we're not going to take anybody's head off, okay? You know what I mean? And you like make a deal with the kid who's not moving very fast, because I've done it the other way too. And you get there at the same time that you would have otherwise, but people feel completely differently about that experience. You know what I mean? Like, I think we feel like if we put all this negative energy toward it, it's going to make it go faster, and it really just makes everybody feel like crap when they get here.
What's your deal that you make?
Well, my kids are older. My daughter's older, so it's like, okay, we're late, so neither one of us is going to freak out. We're going to be nice to each other. Okay. So what do you need? Can I help you? Can you help me? That kind of thing. I'll get your water bottle. You get mine. That kind of thing. Like acknowledging that we're late and we're both in that together is helpful.
Yeah, and being willing to meet things as they are, and not adding on. Like, you're late. Like, accept that, but it's not the end of the world. It's not like you're late, the house is burning down, you just ran over the dog. Like, it's not like that, It's just, we're late. Yeah. So just, it's really important whenever you're feeling overwhelmed. Notice, I must be adding something onto this because the facts are really not that extravagant. No add-ons, just your raw, bare experience.
Yes, for me, it's the morning. I mean, I have one kid who's usually down, I'm up at 5:30, I'm downstairs by 6 o'clock emptying the dishwasher, filling water bottles, packing the snack bags. And then my son comes down and he's always the first one. He gets his breakfast and then he goes off and he does his stuff. He is always ready to go. I'm never waiting for him. It's my oldest one that I start waking up at 6:15. Her alarm goes off at 6. We all hear it, and she turns it off, and so I go in at 6:15. Yeah, I'm awake. So, and then for the next 45 minutes, it's get down here, we gotta go. And I haven't quite figured it out. Part of me wants to just leave without her, because I know my husband's home. But at the same time, that's probably what she wants. She likes riding with him because he listens to sports radio or whatever, but she gets to play on his phone in the morning, and she doesn't feel rushed, and she'll still get to school on time. But for me, if we're running late, which has happened every day this week, is normally I go to PDS first because they have 7:20 drop off, and so I can get through Hutchison line, because if you get into carpool line at 7:45 for the middle school, your daughter will be late, no matter what.
Mhm.
And so now so it just changes, because now I have to drop at Hutchison first at 7:30, which means I don't get to PDS until 7:50, which isn't fair for the one kid who is down on time, because he likes to get there early. So he's being punished for the girl's tardiness, and then it throws my entire day. I don't get home until another half an hour after that.
Yeah, I think one thing that could be really helpful is to have a sit down with her and explain to her, and maybe even with your son,
Yeah.
and let her know, like, try to understand where she's coming from in terms of why she wants to sleep in and why it's difficult for her to get up and where her head is with all that and her emotions, and then explain to her where yours are and how her behavior is impacting you and your son and just that, because it's really, really important to, I think sometimes kids don't understand the impact it can have on other people, you know, and especially their parents. But it's also really important. She'll change if you meet her where she is, you know, that phrase, connect and redirect.
Yeah.
But she has to get that you care about why it's hard for her. And maybe you guys can brainstorm ways to make it easier for her. Be it getting to bed earlier or putting everything out in the morning, or maybe, you know, having you come in and just like rip the blankets off or whatever. But
Right.
if you guys come to it together,
Yeah.
and if she understands that this isn't just about her, yeah.
She does need validation, so I think
Yeah.
validating her feelings and.
I have the same problem with my husband. Same story, but it's his.
Yeah. Well, he is not involved in our morning routine because he just messes it up. He slows us down. Because he'll come and say goodbye. I'm like, we don't have time. We gotta go. We have 5 minutes more. That's a great idea.
So a few other things. There's this idea, I guess, just to talk about this one, because I like it. Well, the idea